Welcome to the Walk Talks podcast, a resource produced by Southland Christian Ministries located in Ringgold, Louisiana. Our purpose is to provide you with daily devotions so that you can faithfully grow in your relationship with Christ each and every day. We hope these truths will be an encouragement to you as you hear from God's Word today.
Hey guys, welcome back to Walk Talks. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you are having a great day. I'm glad that you are joining us for this episode of Walk Talks. The last time we talked about wisdom's called, and we realize, according to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20 through 23, wisdom called everywhere. Okay, so let's review the verses here. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. And so we kind of talked about the fact that wisdom is crying out everywhere, and she's trying to get your attention. Wisdom is the skill of living life as God intended it to be. So we didn't really go into the simple and the scorner and the fool, but the simple is the one who is simply a naive person who doesn't know better. Okay, the scorner is somebody who not only hates knowledge and hates it in for the call of wisdom, but it actually makes fun of those who are trying to help you and to be wise. It makes fun of wisdom. It mocks wisdom. The fool is someone who just hates knowledge, who hates wisdom. And so there's kind of this degrees. There's the simple, the fool, and the scorner. And I hope that you are not in any of those categories, but if you are, I hope you are in the one of the simple and the naive, something you just don't know, rather than somebody who knows but hates that knowledge because it goes contrary to what they want. That's the fool. Or a person who is a scorner, who not only hates that knowledge but mocks those and whatever circumstances tries to bring along wisdom. The reason I bring those up is because we look at the next few verses, and it says, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Verse 29 says, for that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all of my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. Now, there's a very stern warning that is given in this passage. Wisdom before it says she crieth out, she cries everywhere, turn. And if you turn at the reproof or the correction of wisdom, wisdom will give you what you need to live life as God intended. But if you don't, what happens when you don't? You know, there's so many times that you can be given wisdom and you reject it. Given wisdom and you reject it. Given wisdom and you reject it. Now, what's going to happen is the time is going to come when you need that wisdom. And then the wisdom's not going to be available. Let me give you an illustration. a few years back, I have a lawn business that I run on the side for some of the guys that come to school here and just some young people to make a little extra money. And one day, a couple of guys came to me and said, "Hey, your mower is shaking real bad." And I was like, "Oh, that's not good." And like, yeah, it just was shaking, like the engine is shaking real bad. Now I already knew basically what that would be, but I asked them the question anyway. I said, "Well, did you check the oil?" To which they responded, "Well, we put oil in it." And I asked, "Well, when did you put oil in it?" And he said, "Well, after it started shaking." Well, the problem is every day when they start using the mower, before they use the mowers, it's policy, it's a standard procedure that you check the oil in the mower every day before you start using it. If it needs oil, you put oil in. Don't start the mower. Don't start using the mower if you haven't checked the oil. Okay. Why? Because it needs oil to run. If it doesn't have that oil, it's going to break something in the engine and make the engine completely useless, which is exactly what happened. They totally messed up the engine. Okay. Now, look, it was a mistake. Mistakes happen and we can move on. We can learn from those. Those are opportunities to learn. But what was comical is that they were given wisdom. They were told, "Hey, every day check the oil. Check it. Don't get on it before you check it." That was wisdom's call. That is wisdom calling out saying, "Hey, look, do this and it'll work better. Do this and it'll work better." And just do it all the time and it'll work better. Okay? Well, they didn't do it. And then when it became too late, then they tried to heed that wisdom. Well, what good does it do then? Okay. Um, it's like getting a fire extinguisher after the house is already burned down. Okay. Now it's good to have a fire extinguisher, but if you're bringing it after the house is burned down, it's a little too late. And this is what this passage is saying. He said, "Look, turn at my reproof, and I will pour out my spirit unto you. But because I've called and you refused, you didn't listen. You have said," at verse 25, you said, "at not all my counsel, you would not of my reproof, you wouldn't listen." And it says, "I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh," because it's simply this. It's too late at that point. Okay? You have reaped what you have sowed. And now, yes, with the Lord there is forgiveness. With the Lord there are second chances. I never want to discredit that. But at the same time, you can't look at wisdom and then try to heed the warnings after you have already fallen prey to its consequences. Okay? So these young men that work for me, they fell prey to being just a little bit, forgetful and maybe a little bit lazy. And these are great guys. But it happened. So what do we do? Are they bad people? No. But in this sense, okay, it doesn't matter what they do, the damage was already done. And so we have to put a brand new engine on. And you start over and you learn from that and you don't make those same mistakes. But for those who hate knowledge, as verse 29 says, and don't choose the fear of the Lord, this is what's going to happen. So young people, adults, whoever is listening, turn at the reproof. Because if you don't, what will happen is when these troubles come, and they will come, especially if you're not heeding wisdom's call. They will come, and then you will be in quite a mess. And wisdom at that point will not be able to help you. You basically need an entire reboot. Okay, you're going to need a new engine, so to speak. So young people, if your teacher's telling you to do homework, do your homework. Okay, they're trying to help you. If your teacher is saying practice, people practice. If your coach is telling you run laps, shoot some shots, do these things so you can be better, do it. Because when you don't, the game's going to come and you're not going to be prepared. And you're going to lose the game, or you're going to fail the test because you didn't heed the wisdom of those who are around you. People, when you go to church, listen to your pastor, your youth pastor, your teachers. Why? They're trying to give you wisdom so that when situations in life come, you're ready for them and you won't fall prey to the fact of reaping what you sow. I know this was a little bit longer today, but I hope that you will learn from wisdom's call. Please turn and live the way God would intend for you to live. I hope you have the most incredible day, and until next time, we'll see you later.
Thanks for listening to the Walk Talks podcast. We trust that what you've heard today has challenged your walk with God. It is our prayer that through this podcast, every listener would strive to become more like Christ and faithfully live for Him each and every day. Join us next time, and God bless.